Hey guys, welcome back to section 2.4 in linear algebra. So in this section, uh, it's pretty deep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break up the videos into small pieces, and hopefully this will help. Okay, so this section is called elementary matrices, and if you guys recall, elementary row operations for matrices from chapter 1, we can interchange two rows. We can multiply a row by a non-zero constant, and we can also add a multiple of a row. Let's do that later. To another row. Okay. So a definition of an elementary matrix, we're going to call that E, is basically an n by n matrix. So it's a square. Okay. So 2 by 2 or 3 by 3 and so on. An n by n matrix is an elementary matrix when it can be obtained from the identity matrix I sub n by a single elementary row operation. So in this case here, these both are elementary matrix because if you take a look, if you guys recall from the first one is, but from our definition of 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1, this is elementary, this is the identity. I can get the identity here in one step, basically multiplying this by a third, right? So if I multiply this by a third, this will become 1, and then you get this. So this is what we call elementary matrix. This actually is not an elementary matrix. Can you guys tell me why? Well, an elementary matrix is a square. This is not even a square. So that's why it's not. Okay, let's continue. In this case, this is a square, right? It's a 3 by 3, but the only problem is we have a row of zeros. So we have a row of zeros, and basically the reason why we want a 1 here, and we're not going to be able to get a 1 here because nothing you can do will make a 1 here. So that's not elementary. In the next one, do you guys think it's elementary? What could we do? Well, we can interchange the second and third row. If we switch these two rows, I would get back the identity. And then we're good to go. So this is elementary. The next one, what do you guys think? Sure. This is good. This is good. This is good. This is the only person that I need a 0 for. So the way that I get it to be a 0 is if I do one operation. So I'm going to do a negative 2 R1 plus R2, right? And if you do that, and you get a new R2, and so now you're good to go. So this is elementary. And for the last one, it is not, because guess what, guys? I can divide this by a half, or multiply by 1/2 rather, to get the 1 here, but you can't do both of these in one step. So I'm gonna need a 1 here and a 1 here. But the problem is it's gonna be more than one step, so it's not elementary, okay? So why is this so important to have this elementary matrix? Well, think about this. If I asked you to multiply E times A, right? This is an elementary matrix right now. There's only one step that you need to do in order to get this to be the identity. All you have to do is swap these two, and then you get the identity. Well, let's take a look. If I asked you guys to multiply E times A, and imagine that you don't know anything else except for the multiplication. You don't know anything else. How would we do that? What we would do is we would take the first row and the first column and multiply it, right? 0 times 0, 0. 1 times 1, 1. 0 times 3, 0. So you get 1. Great. Let's do the second one. This times this. So we're going to go 0 times 2, 0. 1 times negative 3. Negative 3, 0 times 2 is 0. So that's negative 3. Great. And let's just do one more. 0, so if we do the last one, we go 0 times 1 is 0, 1 times 6 is 6, 0 times negative 1 is 0, so that's going to be 6. What you guys could do is you can say, hey, I know that if I have the identity and I multiply it by a matrix A, I'll get back that matrix A. So how can I make this into the identity? Well, if I just swap these rows. So whatever you want to do here, just do it here. So if I swap these two rows, look, didn't we sign off with a check here, here, and here? These two rows are now swapped. Now, had you done it the long way, you would be able to get it. But now you can do it the fast way by just saying, oh, I'm going to make this into the identity. So that's going to, all I have to do is my result will be exactly the steps that I do. So I hope that makes sense. Let's try another one. This is almost the identity, isn't it? I have this and I have this. So I put E for elementary matrices, and I just need this. You see, if I multiply this by 2, I would get this to be the identity. So basically it's elementary because I'm able to get the identity in one step. So notice how this is 1/2. All I have to do is keep this, and since I multiplied this by 1/2, just multiply this by 1/2. So, and again, if you want to do it out the long way, you could just to confirm it. Okay, so whatever you did here, you should do here. Okay, so we're going to multiply that by 1/2. Once again, since the identity times A equals A, then ask what makes the E and I, or how did I go from I to E? I should have probably said. Let's take a look here. So 1 0 0 0 0 1, right? And then I have the ones here, right? 0 0 0 0 0. The only person that's messing me up right now is this person. So what could I do here? Well, what I can do here is I can multiply R1 by -2 and then combine them. So if I did that, I would get 0, -2, 1. So all I did was my first person, I never did anything to. My last person, I never did anything to. It's just the second. So what I want to do is I wanted to times this by 2. By -2, and then combine and combine that with this person here. I think I combined by a +2. So let's see, yeah. So I multiply this by 2. I don't know why I wrote -2. So multiply this by +2 and then just combine them. So what we're gonna do here is we go 2, combine, you get a 0, 2, that's 0, combine, and then 2 times -1 is -2 plus the 3 makes a 1. So if you guys, once again, do it the long way, you can do like second row, first column if you want. 2 times 1 is 2. 1 times -2 is -2. 0 times 0 is 0. When you add them together, you get a 0. So in this video, I'm just showing you whatever steps it takes for you to go from I to E. I should have said that. That's what you need to do to A. And it's just a shortcut. But you're going to see why in the next video, why it's important to know how to do that shortcut. So I hope this makes sense.